check. One. 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 One, two. Check.
Is the camera? Okay. Hello? I don't think anyone. Can you guys hear me? Okay, everyone, we're about to get started, so. If you can all take a seat. Thank you. So David, is the camera on? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for the people joining us via Zoom. We're at this beautiful sales center in Miami, the Aria Reserve, and we're going to have a presentation by the developers of this gorgeous project at the end of the presentation. But we're here really to talk about FIOPSI and the international presence down here in Miami. And we have the lovely Teresa King-Kinney, who's the CEO of the Miami Association of Realtors. And she's been gracious enough to join us today to talk a little bit about all the exciting stuff going on in Miami and all of the international presence and why it's so important and how Miami has really become a cultural hub for international business and just a lot of movement between countries coming down here. There are just a couple of things with FIOPSI that I'd like to let all of you know about. The first is the USA installation and the mid-semester meetings, which are happening in Orlando next week, May 20th to the 22nd. Teresa will also be there at this event. So the program starts on Friday afternoon and it goes until Sunday. And it's going to have, a lot of opportunity to meet the other members of FIOPSI, the board, and we will be installing the new 2022 president at this meeting. So we've got some information about that up on the screen. After that, there is our World Congress, which this year is going to be in Paris. It is. Oh, by the way, one thing about Orlando, if you try to go online to register, the registration is closed, but if you'd still like to come, you can send me an email and I'll make sure that your registration's accepted until tomorrow. It's ritu@rituronnie.com. I think Raj is also on the line. He's going to be installed as the president. He can type Allison, who's in charge of all the registrations, her email as well in the chat box for anyone, but anyone that's here, you can come see me. And after that, we're going to be having the Paris World Congress, which will be June 6th to June 10th. And the registration for that is also open right now, but all of the ticketed events are sold out. However, our lovely Teresa has a limited amount of tickets if you want to go to all those other events. So if you'd like to register for Paris, you can see Teresa afterwards, or you can email me or email Allison, and we can connect you with Teresa to get a hold of some of those tickets. But Paris is, the event of the year for FIOPSI. It's the World Congress. There are 700 top global professionals coming into Paris to basically do business and share about their countries and what the real estate is like in their country. So after Paris, there's a very exciting piece of information. Next year in 2023, that World Congress will be hosted right here in Miami, thanks to a lot of hard work. I really have to hand it to Teresa King-Kinney for setting that up, and she just informed me she's done a lot of collaboration with Susan Greenfield on that. So thank you so much, Susan, for helping out with that as well. We're very excited to have this down in Miami, and it would be great to see more of you who are here, in Paris, so you get a little taste of what it's going to be like in Miami afterwards next year in 2023. But I really encourage you to sign up, and with Teresa having the extra tickets, that's just going to be a great opportunity. So there's still time if you'd like to do that. Now for today's program, I'd like to just tell you a little bit about Teresa. Most of you here already know Teresa or know of Miami Association of Realtors, but for those of you who are joining us via Zoom, Teresa is the CEO of a 55,000 member organization, which is the Miami Association of Realtors. We're the largest realtor association in the US and the second largest in the world. Miami is celebrating 102 years of service to the industry, the public, and the community. The association has been a leader in global marketing for nearly 30 years and has agreements with 225 international organizations, hosts an annual global real estate congress, and has spoken and exhibited at many global events worldwide. And this is largely credited to Teresa and all her hard work. So without further ado, I'd like to have Teresa come up and let us know what's happening with Miami. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rita. I'm going to use this mic. So I'm very excited to be here, and I do want to say a couple of words about the World Congress, and then my favorite topic of all time is Miami. And so we're going to go to that. And I have a couple of announcements today, just like we usually plan. But as Ritu said, if you went online to FIOPSI right now, and I'm not going to ask how many are FIOPSI members, but if you're not a FIOPSI member, it would cost 2,000 euros to just register for the World Congress in Paris. And all of the packages, including event tickets, and the events are sold out, except for a small reserve number that we have in Miami that we have committed to. And so even if you're not a FIOPSI member, for a very short period of time, for only 1,500 euros, you could get the entire package of registration and the events and the dinners. And one of the dinners, the Prix d'Excellence, is going to be at the Lido, and that's 350 euros alone. And so the package is pretty unbelievable, and I don't know how long they're going to let me hold on to it. So anyone who would like to go, you can always email me, tk@miamire.com, or Liz Jafon, would you please stand? Liz is our new Linda, in charge of global along with me. And so Liz is going to be with us in Paris and promoting it. So why go with us to Paris? Whether you've been to a World Congress before or not, it's extremely important that we and our host committee know the audience that we're working toward, that we know what the conference and the events are like, so that we can best plan the one here to be absolutely extraordinary and unlike anything else they've ever attended, because we're Miami and we can. And so we're very excited about doing this. We would love to have you come with us and help us host. The Convention and Visitors Bureau is even sending a representative with us and is going to help us fund some kind of reception or additional attention for Miami, so that we can start getting people really excited about coming. And the Asian contingency, they expect it to be very strong for the Congress in Miami, because the next world president to be installed while they're here at the end of that conference is from Indonesia. And so it's going to be a really large contingency coming from all over Asia, in addition to all of the other countries. We'd love to have you join us. All you have to do is register with us. It is an amazing event. There are 4 days of activities and conferences, huge conference schedule. We'll send you a promo where you can click on a link to register. You can click on a different link to see the entire program and what events are going on. So I'll do a reminder at the end, because I don't want you to forget, and we really do want you to be with us. But for now, my favorite topic, Miami. Why Miami? Well, I could talk for a long time on that. But meanwhile, somebody's going to help me keep track, because what time did I start? Just about 1 o'clock. So if you can help me keep track so that I stay on track for this program, because quite frankly, I just get so wound up and I love it, and I don't want to keep you longer than I'm supposed to. Besides, there's food there and drink.
Can you just hang on 1 second?
Sure.
David, they don't see us. I just got a text. Yes. So before Teresa, you're watching there? Yes, it is going to be recorded. Log in.
Yeah, here it is on the Zoom. log in and
So it's
out.
on Zoom and it's also live on all of our social media channels. So behave yourself.
How, okay.
I'm gonna log in again. I log in and out.
David is logged in.
All right, so the
Sorry.
next slide that comes up when you
don't
see
see
it
David.
is that it's no surprise to anyone who has crawled out of their blankets and out of their homes to see what's going on in Miami, that we in 2021 broke all records. All records for
They're saying you're not
everything.
on.
I don't care what it was, where it was.
You need to
we
log
broke
in.
every record possible. And
He says
that
he's logged
means
in.
in Miami's MLS.
Okay, he's logging out.
80-year history of the MLS, we hit new records.
I thought
for
everything
number
was
of sales.
working
It's
and-
not just dollar volume, which we know is up because of what's happening with prices, but it's number of
Okay.
units
Do you
that
see
are
him?
so far out. And in fact,
No.
in 2021, it's the first time in all of the nearly 30 years that I've been with Miami that condos outperform single family. Condos
Yes.
are normally so far behind single family that we just get used to it. And then all of a sudden, our head researcher came in and he said, "You won't believe this." And that's what happened. So most of
Okay.
you know
You can see
why
us?
that happened. And one of the main reasons
Okay,
is
perfect.
lack of
Okay.
inventory. So we had more inventory for condos, but not for single family. And so that has continued to plague single family sales. Not that they haven't also hit new records, but there just isn't as many of them to sell. And so condos have gone crazy wild and wonderful. And so here are the numbers again. Now these are in the
Is it
entire
enabled?
history of the MLS. These are record months.
Okay.
And so one of them is actually here in March of 2022. These are total sales for single family and condos. But in the entire history of the MLS. So it's absolutely amazing. I don't want to run over anybody behind me. And
Okay.
so here we have the charts where you can kind of see what's happened. But look, you know, we had the big peak and then it kind
Recording
of
in
calmed down
progress.
a little bit. Still strong, still records. But then look what happened in March of this year. What did you guys do in March of this year? Really? I don't know. Interesting question. All right, so those are our numbers, and we'll have the PowerPoint back up in a moment because I don't remember what's next. Cool. Luxury. We love it when luxury does well. And luxury has not always hit new records for us. Luxury not only hit new records, 40% year over year transactions in over $1 million sales. Who knew? 40% increase in over $1 million projects. And then if we had the dollar volume, and then the ones, how many times have we seen this many sales? Over 20 million, over 30 million. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. So when we talk about why is Miami so different and what's going on in Miami, there's a lot that impacts all of this. And David, I'm frozen. Him must be. Okay, now I'm unfrozen again. All right. No, I'm not. There we are. All right. So why are we experiencing this? I'm not going to read it all. You all can read it. This entire presentation is being recorded, and we will send each of you a link to it as long as we have you registered. And you'll be able to look at this. You'll be able to pull stats from it. You can pull charts from it. You can post them on your social media. You can share the information with your clients and customers and let them know how brilliant you are and how much great data you have. And so surging demand from global buyers, you know, how long was it that they couldn't travel to the United States or not very easily travel to the United States? And so when we get into our international study, we're going to focus a lot on who's buying here from other places in the U.S. because they kind of took over as #1 buyers in Miami from the global. Global was still buying here and still buying here much stronger than anywhere else in the nation. So demographic shifts, millennials, they're our largest group and they want shelter. Expansion of remote work, strong jobs, positive cash flow, high equity. Miami, you'll see in our stats, is rated one of the top destinations for new hires, for jobs, for starting businesses, for all of the kind of things that equate to money and success. And so the migration to Florida, again, we're going to be talking about within the United States what's happening. And so these are driver's licenses. Which driver's licenses have been exchanged from their state or country to Florida? And foreign is still 76,500, even though there wasn't a lot of international travel. But look at New York, New Jersey. You combine those two alone as one general market, and you got almost 100,000 who exchanged their former driver's license for their Florida driver's license. California, you're going to see at the top of many of our lists, and they're high up here too. Illinois, Chicago area, very strong for us. So what are the top 3 counties here in Florida? You'll see Miami-Dade is number 1 with a bullet, Hillsborough, Orange, then Broward and Palm Beach back down to us. So again, migration to Florida. The other thing we look at is permanent changes in address. This isn't just people who buy, from New York, New Jersey, California, who buy a second home. And a lot of people were doing that and planning on retiring here. And then they found they could remote work from here, and some of them aren't going back. But this is actually permanent change of address. Look at that, New York with a bullet, almost 63,000 people. And then all of these others, LA, Washington, San Francisco, Chicago, all of these are all coming up in our most popular searches from other states searching our market. And we are doing a news release, we're starting it back up again, of the top global markets that are searching our properties. That's the top countries, and then also the top metro areas worldwide. Then we do the top states, and then we do the top metro areas in the U.S. Now, why do you care about that, and why are you going to want to pay attention to that news release, which I just approved yesterday, so it should be being distributed to you today or tomorrow? That's because that's where your buyers are coming from. They're searching our properties, and when they rise to the top 5 and 10 of all searches around the world, or of all searches around the entire United States, those are the states and the markets that are going to be moving here because they're searching our properties. So where are the buyers coming from here in the U.S.? We have Atlanta, Georgia area, King County, Washington, New York, LA, Cook County, a Chicago area of Illinois. And so we've got all of these top markets these are where our buyers are coming from within the United States. Top markets for international traffic. This says out of the entire United States on Realtor.com, where are international buyers searching? And Miami has been number 1 with a bullet for the past 5 years, all except for, I think, 2 times. And then we were second, maybe we were third one time, which I don't know how that happened, because clearly we should always be first. And then you'll notice Orlando is there, along with Cape Coral, Fort Myers. They're there a lot on international, which is interesting because they're not a very large market. Okay, so I hope most of you know that Miami does an international survey every year. And get ready, because it's going to be coming out again in just a couple of months. Now, with this international survey, Miami is by far the top market in the entire state of Florida, and actually the top market in the entire United States. Do you know that there's one year, not too long ago, that Miami came in 3rd in the state of Florida, behind Tampa and Orlando? Now, I have nothing against Tampa and Orlando, but in what world does Miami not come in higher than either of those markets? And so we immediately notified NAR and Florida Realtors, and we said, something is wrong with your data. Must not be the sufficient enough level of responses. We could open it back up and encourage more people to respond. And they said, no, we've looked at it, it's statistically accurate, and there's nothing wrong with the data. So what did we do with their report and their numbers that year? Nada. Nothing. So what did they do with their report when it came out the next year? I loved it. There was actually a disclaimer on it that said, be careful when comparing this to the previous year's report, because the data from that report seems to be, they never said inaccurate. incomplete, maybe. And so we go, you could have avoided that if you had just listened to us. And so that's the only time we did not come out first. But you know what? If you guys don't respond and tell us who you're working with and from which countries, and give us more information, then that can happen. And that just is not an option for us. Miami, don't put baby in a corner, don't put Miami in a corner. Okay, so this is our last study, and what we have here is Florida is the #1 destination for almost all of these years. When you go back sometime before 2009, I think I found 1 or 2 years that Florida was not #1, but they've been #1 for so many years, and nobody else is even close. We're at 21% of all sales nationwide to international buyers happen in Florida, 16% in California, and then it goes down to 9, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, you know. So nobody is even close to Florida. Florida wins. 1 in every 5 international buyers who buy anywhere in the entire United States buy in Florida. What you're going to see is my very favorite slide of all time later, and that is 52% of all sales in Florida happen in our market. 52%. How can we not be #1? You know, how cool is that? All right. So where the buyers are coming from, and so in this particular year, lived abroad was a much smaller number, a lot from Florida and a lot from out of state. And we knew that that was going to happen. So that's good. We're really looking forward to the data that comes in from this one, since international travelers were able to start coming in as of November of last year. I think it was November 8th or something of last year. So, but we had NAR, we had to beg and plead, but we had NAR include the U.S. buyers in this, because I knew not only do we want to know that, and it really does impact all of our markets as well as our international, but also it's something very important to us for that particular year. But I want them to do it ongoing because it's such great information for us. And so here, distribution of top out-of-state buyers, look at New York. Nobody is even close. California is a distant second, and then you have all of the other states there. That's where, during this study that was done for Florida and for Miami, that was done by the National Association of Realtors, this is where our buyers came from. These are all good target markets for you when you have a chance to go back and look at this data. Again, when I tell you who's searching our properties, who are the top buyers that we have, where are the buyers coming from, these are the things that you need to pay attention to for your business. And so now, share of non-resident, 74% of our buyers primarily resided abroad, compared to nationally. Look how far down that figure is. So nobody else has the number of true international buyers residing outside the country that Miami does. Our buyers come from 43 countries. So one of the things that's wonderful is that when you see some of the other data, which I didn't include here, but it's in the National Association's International Report, you'll see that California and Texas and Colorado and some of the other markets have like maybe 3 or 4 countries that make up the huge percent of all of their international buyers. And for us, it distributes over this last year, 10. The year before, they couldn't fit it into 10. It was the top 20 buyers from the top 20 countries for Miami. Now, what's the difference between those? We are not dependent on any one market for our success in selling to international buyers. We are the only market, Florida and Miami in particular, is the only market that has this level of diversity with buyers from other countries, which is amazing for us. So what are our top tier countries of origin? Well, they're mainly from Latin America, which doesn't surprise us. Argentina has taken over as #1. Venezuela was #1 for, I think we've done this study for 10 years. I think they were #1 for 8 years. And then all of a sudden, we have Argentina, who's moved in. Colombia has just been moving steadily up to where it's #2. And the news release that you see will say that Colombia is #1 for those who are looking at our properties. And Colombia is often number one for looking at Miami properties. But this says they follow through. They not only look at our properties, they also buy our properties. And so then you have Mexico, Chile. It's the first time Chile has popped in here, which is interesting. Peru. I heard from one of our brokers that Peru was going to be really big and we needed to watch Peru. And so Peru popped into the top 10 the next time we had this study done, and they weren't there before. We learn a lot from our developers, and we ask them, where are the buyers coming from and what are the shifts that you see in buyers, so that we can pass that information on to you as well. And so we have Ecuador, Spain, and France. So Miami does more international outreach, has more partnerships, does more presentations for other countries, exhibits more with other countries and other partner associations than any other association, probably including NAR. And so we can't prove how our outreach helps bring more Latin American buyers in, because Latin American buyers always buy here. But France, 12 years, 13 years ago, wasn't even a blip on the screen. They were buying in Florida, but they were buying on the west coast of Florida, and they weren't in our top 20. So we had a new partnership with FNIM Paris Ile-de-France, and they wanted us to exhibit with them in their property show for the public. And they hosted us to do 2 seminars, sold out standing room only seminars for the buying and investing public. And then the media started picking up on, 2 articles from 2 national French media in the same week that said it's essentially better to buy an apartment in Miami than it is in Paris. It's larger, it's cheaper, it has more amenities, it's whatever. And I go, God bless the French press and the media, because I was there speaking. And so it worked out to be, a perfect arrangement. But France, after our 3rd year of exhibiting there, moved into the top 10, and they've never left. Regardless of what's happening in France, which they've had some challenges in recent years, but they've never left our top 10. And so they're my poster child for being able to say it works. It not only works during the time that we're exhibiting there, it even works for 5 years after, when they weren't presenting that property show for the public anymore. And so that's the kind of thing that we are involved in and are very happy to do. So now, Miami-Dade County, out of all 4 counties that we represent, 65% of all the international buyers buy here in this county. So Miami-Dade County Latin Americans were the major buyers. This is the same stuff that you see in our top 10, and that's not a big surprise to anyone. But what most people don't know is Europe and Asia are both buying here. And Eastern Europe, we all know, buy here. And our numbers for China before all of the pandemic, China finally moved into the top 20, and then they kept increasing 1% at a time. So Broward County, Latin Americans were also major buyers there, and you'll see there's a 3-way tie for Canada, Venezuela, and Chile, but Argentina and Colombia are by far tops there. So Palm Beach County, this is interesting. So they not only have Latin American buyers, Argentina, Brazil, but Canada is very strong there. Now we're back to Colombia, Chile, Peru, and Ukraine. This was presented to us in November last year, and it's the first time that Ukraine had popped up as one of the top buyers in any of our South Florida markets, which was interesting. So Argentine buyers, this is where they're buying, Miami-Dade mostly, also in Broward. Brazilian buyers, again, Miami-Dade is number 1 with a bullet. Chilean buyers, look at this, I told you they weren't in our top 10 before, but look at the numbers that they're buying now. Colombian buyers, again, Miami-Dade they choose as number 1. Mexican buyers, same. Venezuelan buyers. And now we have median purchase price. So who's spending the most money? Mexico. Who usually spends the most money? Brazil. So this time it's Mexico. Brazil is number 2, and you see the rest of them there. 63% of all foreign buyers paid cash. It's a much higher number than it is nationally. Argentine buyers are the highest group among all of these countries buying in cash, 88%. That's a lot. Chile is next, tied with Mexico, and soon after that is Venezuela. So 73% of foreign buyers purchased a vacation and/or rental home. That's not a big surprise to anybody. 61% of foreign buyers purchased condominiums, much easier to maintain. And if you add on townhomes, which normally are in communities where there are services as well, that takes the number up to 71%. So 93% of foreign buyers visited Florida at least once before they bought a property. When you get down to the ones that had to come here 4 times or more, I think they need to talk to the first 7% who didn't come at all, bought sight unseen, or the people who bought after they'd been here one time. That's okay too. So they should go back and talk to those to move along their decision process and make themselves happier earlier. 50% of Miami realtors had an international customer, but look compared to the national average of 15% nationally that had an international customer. So profitability, security of investment are the main reasons, not a big surprise to any of us, for why they buy property in our area. 85%, I like this, of the leads and referrals were your own personal or business contacts or previous customers. So if you look at it, website and internet paid ads were 1%. Look at your budgets and where you're spending the money, and where are your real buyers and renters coming from. We move up to about halfway through a website or internet organic search, and that's still only 6%. But look at your personal contacts and people you've done business with before. That's gold. That's where your money comes from. Yes? Sure. And I don't know why they left off desirable location, because that's actually higher than profitable. Okay, leads or referrals. All right. So 80% of our respondents reported there was no problem in working with international customers at all. 81%, normally that's was language a barrier, and so 80% said no. And so 81% of Miami realtors are fluent in another language. I love that. Now, Florida Realtors does a study, has NAR do a study for them, and we do them at exactly the same time, and we do the same questions, so that Miami gets its own report at the same time that Florida gets its statewide report, and then we get to pull some of their data in as an appendix to ours, because I love what their report says. All right, so this is my favorite slide of all time. 52% of all of Florida's buyers buy in the Miami region, and that's up from the previous year. How amazing is that? So 1 in 5 buyers buy in Florida, and more than half of those buy in Miami and our Southeast Florida region. So Florida's foreign buyers, a large share comes from Latin America, and it's way too small, and I don't have enough time to go over all of them, but it starts out with Canada with a bullet. And so if something happens to the Canadian market, or when it happens to the Canadian market, let's say that all of a sudden the exchange rate goes way wild like it has before, then Canadians don't buy much here during that period of time because it costs them too much. And so Florida is more dependent on the Canadian market than Miami is dependent on any market. And so I just want to remind you of how fortunate we are of our diversity of buyers and customers that we have here. So I'm going to go through this quickly. It's just fun. All right. This is Florida's report, and it says that destinations of Argentine buyers, 86% of the entire state buy in our market. Number 2 is 6% in Orlando. Now you see why I like them so much. Okay. Brazilian buyers, destination, our market, 48%. Number 2, Orlando, for 33%. Now, that's a nice percentage, but everybody knows that Brazilians absolutely love Miami and Orlando, but they really like to buy more in Miami, which is good. All right. Canadian buyers. So a few years ago, our numbers for Canada were like, I won't say they were dismal because that's such a sad word, but they were not great. They were not good. But then all of a sudden, not too long ago, not too many years ago, that started changing and more Canadian buyers started buying in Miami. The reason they didn't before was price point. Orlando was much more affordable than Miami. But then what I think happened is at some point they realized the value of buying in Miami was not just that it cost more money, but appreciation and all of the other things that you get with Miami and Southeast Florida real estate. Colombian buyers, 74% buy in our market. Tampa, St. Pete, and Orlando are both tied at only 8%. Venezuelan buyers, 77% buy here. Punta Gorda, who knew? 17%. And you see the others. They're not the normal top markets that we think of. So this report is pages, however long it is. It's got a lot of other great information in it, but these were the top things that I pulled out for you. All you have to do is go to miamirealtors.com/global, and you can see this report and previous year's reports in case you want to see those. And so I am right on schedule because hang on to your hats or your seats because I love going through this really fast. These are the fun facts. These are things that no other market gets to say, and this is what other people are writing about us. So somebody said, well, why don't we produce our own? And I said, there's something about us saying this by Miami Realtors that just isn't as much fun as if Forbes says it. All right, so top 20 Miami rankings. Oh, I should tell you first that how many of you have ever used the National Association of Realtors PhotoFi service that they have for you? God bless you. They have all of these great social media ads and frames. So it's you have to access it on your phone, and you have to go in and download the app, and then you sign up for an account with NAR with your login and password, and then you have access to all of this great, beautiful social media material that you can post. So Miami has paid for that same service, and we are building the most robust, incredible social media posts that we're going to be launching sometime this month, and it will include all of these major global slides. And you get to post them on your own social media as them coming from you. Yeah. In addition to that, these Miami in the rankings, we're going to post every one of those. I know, yeah? And as new ones come up, we're going to post those too. And you will find people will share them. And so we're not most interested in people sharing ours, although whatever it takes to get it out there, we'd like you to share ours. But most importantly, we want you to be shared with others so that you're the source. You get the exposure, you get the branding, you get the attention. So with all of that, are you ready? Miami is the #1 happiest city in the U.S. for the second, I think it's third, consecutive year in a row. All right. Miami is the #1 healthiest city in the entire United States. Now, when my researcher came in and he gave me this, I said, no. Which publication? Because I didn't quite believe it. This is Mind Body Wellness Index, so they should know what they're talking about. But that year it was some major national publication. I went, wow, I'll take that. And it makes us look at ourselves and our community differently because we have more outdoor, active opportunities every single day of the year, unless there's a hurricane. And we have all of these healthy choices to eat. So in addition to that wonderful, incredible Cuban food and all the other stuff, there are lots of healthy choices and lots of exercise and lots of, all of that. And for us to be the healthiest city in the United States is absolutely pretty cool. Miami is #1 best city for foodies in America. Yeah, see there, that's the other side of it. All right, we are the #1 most glamorous city in the entire United States. Did anybody see the article about Formula One? And when they were choosing their cities, they wanted glitz and glamour. And they got that over the top. I just heard stats at our board, one of our board meetings this week, that Formula One made more money than the World Series. Miami is #1 city in the U.S. and #3 in the world for best nightlife. So we're healthy, but we like to play. We don't play all the time because we are the #2 largest financial center on the entire East Coast. Now, as I tell you these, I want you to imagine them being able to be posted on your own social media in whatever period of time you want to post them. And you know you can set up those posts in advance. So if you got a little bit of time, set up 5 or 10 of them, and then they'll come in and play at whatever time you've got them set up. Now this we love. We are the #2 best city in the world for art, in the world, for all art and culture lovers. Now, 10 years ago, no way, but look at us now. This I love. We are the #1 best 15-minute city in the entire United States. That means that from where people live, within 15 minutes, they can access most of what they want to access. Restaurants, shopping, food, whatever it is. Those are 15-minute cities. And we're #1 15-minute city in the entire United States. We're #7 most walkable city in the United States. And we think not many of us give up our cars. But we don't stop to think about how walkable our neighborhoods and our city really is. We are the #3 best U.S. city for pet lovers. It's new, just came out. I know you were waiting for it. South Florida ranked #1 for America's best metro areas for school quality. So when people talk about the quality of our schools, post this. Miami ranked #9 for best place to retire. I actually love that because we had not been high on retirement rankings. Lots of other quieter markets had been, less expensive markets had been. But #9 in the entire United States for best place to retire is great. Fort Lauderdale ranks #4 for best cities for LGBTQ homebuyers. Yay! Miami Beach ranked #1 best market for homebuyers according to Realtor.com. That was a year ago, but they hadn't come out with a new one, so I'm keeping it until they do. Brickell ranked #28 coolest neighborhood in the world. Who knew? Yeah. Miami luxury homes are forecast to see the highest value growth of any major world city in 2022. Knight Frank is like the well-known expert in these kinds of rankings. And to get that kind of ranking from Knight Frank is amazing. Miami ranked among the top 15 commercial real estate markets in the U.S. And so it isn't only residential that's going crazy. You know, when the pandemic hit and everything kind of stopped or slowed down for about a month, month and a half, and then it started going, you know, opening up, and then it just went crazy. And remember, your association was one of the key ones that fought to, and we actually identified that in Miami-Dade County, you were considered essential. And we got that out to everybody immediately as we started working on making that happen for the state. And so you were never stopped from doing business, whether it be remotely or in person with care. And so those are really important things to be aware of. But what happened is everybody said with all of this, you know, work from home, the commercial buildings are going to be vacant and everything else. But then you'll see about tech startups and the tech boom that's happened in Miami that has filled so much of that space. And quite frankly, our commercial market is amazing. We are the #2 best large city to start a business this year, #2 best city for small business in 2020, #3 best place in the United States to remote work in America, which a whole lot of people found and are staying here. We're #4 for top U.S. relocation destination for Americans who moved during COVID. #2 emerging technology hub in the entire U.S. I love this one. This is new. #1 top talent migration destination in the U.S. by LinkedIn job data. Do you understand how powerful that is? Yeah, and it's us. It's our market. It's our job market. It's the people moving here. South Florida ranked #1 among U.S. metros with largest migration changes for software and IT workers. We could go on and on with all of the tech rankings that we have. We are one of only 9 what they call rising tech star cities in the entire United States. We are #9 best metro in the U.S. for venture capital dollars invested. #4 best city in the U.S. for crypto company funding. We ranked #1, I get a kick out of this, #1 for the most former Californians getting a Florida driver's license. But we're also #1 U.S. county for people trading their out-of-state licenses for a license here. That's not just the state, that's county. That's Miami-Dade County. It's #1 in the entire United States for that. #9 most new real estate construction in the U.S., including these great condos that are going on. And that was from 2012 to 2021, that entire period, #9. Among the top 40 most sustainable U.S. cities, and this is new, our MIA is the #1 busiest airport in the United States for international passengers, again, in the entire United States. We ranked the best region in all of North America for investment in 2021 and 2022. So who else has those kinds of rankings, those kinds of stats, those kinds of top 10, #1, #2, #3? And imagine when you start posting these on your social media and sharing them with other people, how impressive that is. You know what it does? It also creates a buzz. And so whenever we send that news release out that says, here are the top countries that are buying here, you know what happens? Each of those countries go up in the number of searches that they do on Miami properties. So it's the most wonderful cycle in the world. So we announce that Colombia is #1 for searching properties. And so Colombia media puts that out everywhere. So then people go, so more Colombians search. And so same thing with other states. So the subtle things that we do that you don't stop and think about are cause and effect. We didn't get to be #1, 52% of all international sales in the state of Florida, without doing a lot of the kind of stuff that we don't even tell you about. We just do it, and we figure it out. And some of it comes from great suggestions, like the people who work with us and serve on our committees and on our boards. But the great thing about our board is that any one of our 55,000 primary or 60+ thousand total members, any one can come up with ideas that we go, wow, we could do that. Or they come up with an idea and go, that would be cool if we could figure out. And then, swear to God, we figure it out like within a short period of time, because now they've got us thinking about it. So just remember that if you tell us something and then all of a sudden you see it happen, take credit for it. All right, I want to remind you again about next weekend in Orlando, and Ritu can help get you registered if you do it right away. World Congress, we want you to come with us to Paris, and we have several people today who've said that they want to do that. And we want a great, strong host committee, and you can be the best host committee by knowing the audience that we're working toward. And I want to invite all of you to attend. Remember when we used to do those huge Rock the Markets at Hard Rock? And the last one, I think we had 1,300 people there. And so we have the next one scheduled for July 29th. And it's 2.5 months away, and that incredible woman back there already has 50-some exhibitors already lined up for that event. So do not miss it. Whole panel a whole day of amazing speakers and lunch and everything else going on. And that's all. Except I want to give major credit to Chris and Pierre, who did all of the research for all of the facts and also does our stats. It's been my pleasure to be with you here today. We'll make sure that you get a copy of the recording, and thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Really appreciate that. Unfortunately, at the beginning of this, the Zoom was not on for the people joining us via Zoom. So I know all of you heard this, but I'm just going to do a little bit of a repeat, and I'll make it very quick. Next week is the Orlando installation of the new president. That's in, it's the 20th to the 22nd at the Rosenshingle Creek. The tickets are not available online, but if you'd still like to go, you can still go. You just need to contact either myself, and I was going to ask Fiopsi USA, you can put my email address, ritu@riturani.com, or you can reach out to them directly. I think it's info@Fiopsi USA, but I can definitely connect you so you can register for that if you'd like to go. And then the World Congress in Paris, which is happening June 6th through the 10th. You can still register for that, but if you register through Teresa's group, we can get you tickets to all of the galas and all the other events, which you cannot do online. So if you're interested in going to that, which we highly recommend, you can reach out directly to Teresa or to Liz Jufin, or if you reach out to me, I can connect you with the right people. And that's a prelude to the fact that we're having the World Congress in Miami in 2023, thanks to a lot of hard work from Teresa and also from Susan Greenfield. Thank you so much. It's been tremendous, but we're going to have that World Congress. So if you guys would like to join us in Paris, please join us in Paris so you can see what it's going to be like in Miami, because there are going to be 700 top global real estate professionals coming for these conferences. So it's really a good opportunity to help you all grow your business. So,
And I forgot
yes.
to thank David Garcia.
Yes,
for
David.
coming early
And
doing
helping
all
with the
prep and
tech.
getting everything set up.
So, yes.
On Zoom, when we got cut off there, they want to see it. This was completely live also.
Yes. Facebook.
Our Facebook,
Yes.
Instagram, so go to miamirealtors.com and
You'll see it all.
you can rewatch them. We'll put them also on miamirealtors.com.
Okay, and then I would also like to thank Ana Maria Peroska. She is a realtor as well as myself down here in Miami. She was instrumental in getting this location set up for us. And I'd like to invite the developer to talk a little bit about Aria Reserve, so all of you can see about one of the most luxurious, fabulous projects we have going on in Miami. Andres, yes, we're ready. We're live and everything is working, so here you go.
Is there video on here? Okay, whenever you're ready, the video is
Okay, I
queued
can
up.
just play it or just click on
I think
play
you just
and
click in
that's-
the middle. Well, if I do that, do you want to play it now or you want to play
Yeah,
it later?
we can play it
Okay.
now. It's a 3-minute video and I'm gonna talk on top of the video, so it's gonna be a fast
Oh, there it is.
preview. Perfect. So thank you everybody for coming to our amazing waterfront location. We're happy to launch this beautiful, amazing development. They're considered the tallest waterfront dual towers in the United States. Both of them have 62 stories high. Right now we're in the process of selling out the South Tower. We're about 90% sold. It's been amazing, the success of sales. And we released inventory in the North Tower. We're about 50% already sold. We're gonna have an amazing location, waterfront, over 5 acres of extension. Where also we have expansive amenities throughout the building, 2 pool areas, also a restaurant, a boardwalk, so all this Edgewater area will be connected in a pedestrian way. Also a waterfront park between Elisea and us. Also going up to the units, all the units have direct water views, which is an amazing feature to have. Where from the balcony, you're gonna be able to see Sunny Isles, Val Harbor, and Miami Beach. Also, all the units will have high ceilings, 10-foot ceilings standard, and we will have different choices from 1 to 4 bedrooms, where they also have an extra space called den. Sizes ranging from 1,028 square feet up to 2,600 square feet. Also, we have penthouses available. All the units have 1 parking assigned and an extra car included in the HOA, which is very affordable, it's 70 cents per square feet. You're gonna find nowadays in pre-construction that the rate goes from 90 cents to $1.50 per square feet. Also, we are including over 2 acres of amenities facing directly the bay and another section facing west, where we have very expansive amenities. This is the lobby. It's gonna be tri-level, 36 feet tall with direct water views. Also, we have this biophilic concept, which means that we integrated nature into the building. The architect is a very well-known company, Arquitectonica, and it's being built by the Mello Group, which has a lot of experience, over 20 buildings in Miami. They also, besides being developers, they also own their own general contractor company. As far as the west side of the building, we're gonna have, on top of the 9-level parking structure, over 1 acre of more amenities. We're gonna have a lap pool that will receive the sun in the afternoon, also 3 clubhouses. So each one will have different sections and beautiful outdoors or with landscaping done by Arquitectónica Geo. Also, we're gonna have tennis court, basketball, paddleball, semi-Olympic pool, cabanas, and we're entering right now to one of the clubhouses. This is the gym, where we also have weight room, cardio, spinning. Also, we have a yoga inside and outside, even a mini golf court, game room, also a theater, a social area, and also a spa. So we have plenty amenities. We expect that the first tower is going to be completed by summer 2024 and the second tower by second quarter 2025. As you see, we have the groundbreaking starting next week. We're going to have the mayor of Miami, Francis Suarez, coming, and we're very excited that this is a reality. So we hope that you can bring your own clients, and we're paying 6% commission, which is an excellent commission to have. And as all this report was saying, we have a lot of buyers from Colombia, from Mexico, from Canada, from Turkey. So this is a very global niche of buyers, since everybody wants to be most likely waterfront like we are. So thank you so much. We're going to give you later on a Dropbox and all the information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andres, for the presentation and for allowing us to have this excellent presentation by Teresa King-Kinney in Miami. So with that, thank you to everybody who's joined via Zoom, and we look forward to seeing you in Orlando.
And I know I'm not allowed to.
I was thinking this was Teresa's computer, but she's already got one, right?
Are you excited about Paris?
Yeah. You going?
This organization is new to the international.
Oh, okay.